Bowl money. You got to pay me. Super Bowl money.
Back with another one. Check it out, man. We got an exclusive. C.Mcclain dropped another video saying, hey, man, he putting in that work, you know, late night, getting it in like a vampire. They say them Florida boys ain't playing. But check this out. You look at some of the comments. Some of them say it's old. I don't even care. I will tell you guys this. I salute the man if this is him working out. It ain't been easy to be the number one a prospect coming out, man, and trying to live up to expectations of everybody else. We're going to get into the video of what I see and what I think. I will say this. C.Mcclain is C.Mcclain. He's not Travis Hunter. He's not Deion Sanders. To me, I think the guy has been balling out coming out of high school with just pure athleticism. Okay, so when you get to college, you know, you got to refine some of those skills and hone in on some of those skills because the competition level is different. You'll see in this video, you know, him and his man is talking about, you know, the different level of competition, the different receivers, different moves, different breakdowns, different routes, different stacks, different setups. So it's definitely different. It's not the same. So I just think that everybody need to relax, man. This is a sophomore, 18, 19 years old, man, just finding his way, you know what I'm saying, trying to be an elite corner. The second thing I'm gonna mention is this, especially when it comes to prime time in the attraction they get, the cameras they get. You know, this is prime time. This is what he do. If you look at his team, you know, something about knowing your kids or your students as parents, you know, you got to know your kids, how to talk to different ones. My son and my daughter, I don't talk to them the same. I don't discipline them the same. I don't, you know, it's things that I could do with my daughter that I can't with my son and vice versa. And so there is no wrong way or right way, I believe, on raising your kids, you know, whatever suits you. But for me, what I see on the outside and from what we allowed to see with the cameras, you know, and all of this, and let's not take this as this is what it is 24/7, because it's not. But I will say there is, you can see different approaches for different kids on that football team. Some kids don't ever get publicly discipline. You know, that's just what it is. Let's call it spade a spade. Let's stop acting like, you know, it is what it ain't. You know what I mean? So for me, I look at Cremani and say, hey, whatever he's doing or not doing or haven't done in the past, he is a young man. This is why you go to Colorado with Prime, because Prime know how to get the best out of young men. You know, he's a leader of men. He got a bunch of coaches over there that are leaders of men. I hope, and I want to say this, I hope that these coaches that are around Prime are allowing themselves to be the men that they stand on, the morals, their principles, and not fold to Coach Prime's morals and principles. And what I mean is, I hope these men, the way they approach teaching young men, the way they interact with young men is true to who they are, not trying to be what Prime is. What I see, again, from the outside is Colorado runs a certain style of defense or a certain style of cornerback that they want. To me, and this is only to me, watching the film in high school, watching the last year, Cremani is not a press hands-on corner right now. Like, that is not what he's great at right now. Again, right now. So some of y'all going to try to tear it apart and you don't know what you're talking about. We can run the tape. I will also say this. To me, he is a better off-man cover corner. To me, if you watch some of the tape, you will see that at the point of attack is usually when he gets beat. If you watch the reps he didn't have a whole bunch, but the reps he had last year, right at the point of attack is when he got beat every time. He is more slim framed it. He's more of a Sauce Gardner to me, and I'll get into that later. He's, to me, body frame, style, size, length. He's Sauce Gardner 2.0. Remember I said that. However, he gets beat at the point of attack when it comes to physical receivers. So for me as a coach, if I'm about putting the best athletes on the field, there is no reason he's not on the field unless, and this is again, this is not athleticism. This is whether it's school, whether it's academics or performance, or as you know, they said last year, not looking at film, whatever the case is. And I'm not here to even go that route. It's a new day, right? But what I am saying is this: as the best athletes on the field, there's been a couple players, and if you start watching a trend, I know we love what Prime is doing, but I gotta go with what's in the oven. You had Slusher leave, okay? He was pivotal in last year's defense. So, okay, there's a little writing on the wall. Something's not happening. Something is, you know what I'm saying? So, for me, watching Cremani is you can coach up any player you want, okay? And I say he's Cremani, not anyone else, like Travis. Travis has better instinctual skills right now than McClain did. He had him coming out last year. However, we cannot go into this thinking, well, he's like Travis. He's not. He's not. Travis has better hands. Travis can play both sides of the ball a lot more fluently than Cremani. However, what I would like to see, just purely based off athleticism, if you ran man on one side with Travis and had Cremani running a off man or a zone on that side, I think you get the best of both worlds. Hands down, the best of both worlds. Now, whether that'll happen or not, I don't know. Okay? Now, the way Colorado gonna run their program, they gonna run it. And so, you know, it's holding everybody accountable. And some people can argue that. Everybody not held accountable to the same standard. And that's life. Can't nobody argue that. It happens in the pros. It happens on every level of competition in sports. Everybody is not treated equally. Despite what you hear or like to believe, in life, everybody's not treated equally. On a job, you're not treated equally. You may have the same title, do the same type of work. But if you are a woman in a dress and, you know, you a fat guy with a hairy beard and, you know, your boss is a male chauvinist, then you never know. You know what I'm saying? However, everybody is not treated equally. Everybody's not treated fairly. Some people in every walk of life, you have your favorites. Sometimes people can see that. Sometimes people voice that. Sometimes people want people to see that. A blind man can see what it is in this situation. You know, Prime got those kids that he just adore and he loves. Not that he don't love all of them, but he don't love all of them the same. That's a fact. Prime ranks his kids. Okay, that's just what it is. So sometimes you got kids that come from certain places where that approach may not work, right? That approach don't work with everybody, okay? That approach is not complementary to each one of your kids. I.e., if you look at Primetime's daughter, she's leaving Colorado, right? Now, I'm going to just show you the difference. She's leaving Colorado for whatever reason. It don't even matter. But when an athlete is leaving a program, okay, it's playing time, it's fit, it's this, it's that. She may have came there for Colorado with her pops and her brothers. However, she got to do what's best for her. And everybody, all I can see is good job and I pray that it work and da-da-da-da. Now, when it's speculation of Cremani and this is, man, he ain't loyal. He is, let him go, let him. So there's definitely not the same level of outlook among players, fans, parents, coworkers, bosses. That's just what it is. But you got to know your kids. I don't believe, and a lot of this, I'm not going to sit here and act like it's not on Cremati, okay? But a lot of this is you take kids, and this you hear Prime talking about this a lot, about taking young boys and turning them to men. If you didn't watch my last video, go watch. I put in clips of him correcting some people. Out of love is what it looks like, you know? And so you got to be able to take young boys and take their immaturities and their adolescence and they vulnerabilities and coach them up in a way that is suitable for each individual. Everybody's not Shador, grown. Everybody is not Travis, crazily skilled. And so you have players that take offense, I'm sure, to some of the tactics or some of the ways that they getting coached. But as a coach, and again, this is not the NFL. You're getting paid to perform. In college, now you get NIL deals, but it is your job to coach them up. It is your job to bring the best out of them. And if you got a outlook on bringing the best out of 2 or 3, then, hey, I'm sure people going to have an issue with it. So this ain't going to be the first or last time you see people that has helped the team like the year before was starters or this decide to leave. Because we all human no matter what. If you in a job and all of a sudden some people bring in 3 or 4 other people that has your position or that do your position or your job title, you gonna feel some type of way. That's just normal. That's normal. As a boss, you have to know which one of your employees really don't work well in that environment, because that could be the end or the start of downhill production or a conflict of interest. So if your attitude is I'm gonna just do it like this and whoever ain't with it can get on, then that kind of contradicts the taking boys and their immaturities, especially coming from certain places and neighborhoods where it's been rough, where you identify with. That don't go hand in hand. And so publicly, if everybody see, it's a few players that get this kind of attention or this kind of respect, and others, it's a public, I don't even want to say chastising, but a public, whatever, we'll just call it whatever. I don't even know what to call it. Then everybody else, if we see that as a public, as a fan base, then I'm sure the players going to feel like that. I'm sure there's coaches in there and people maybe not like what I'm about to say. And I look at the Sean Lewis's, et cetera, et cetera. Now, I'm sure it's coaches, and I'm not talking about him specifically. It's been coaches, and it will continue to be coaches that say, you know what, it's time for me to go. I can't be under this type of rule, right? I have to do things my way. And that's all right. Coaches are the same way. I guarantee you there's coaches in that thing that say, hey, we should be playing this person or that person, but hey, coach say this, we ain't playing that person or this person or whatever. And so sometimes I think it can go too far. We want to treat these people like adults, like, real men already, real leaders, finished products. But in the same token, we acknowledging that they 18, 19, 20-year-old, a lot of the times immature, a lot of the time come from broken households or rough communities. So we can't accept that part of it and highlight that part of, hey, that's what we like, that's what we go after. And then on the second note, we punishing them for being exactly what they are when we went and got them. You see what I'm saying? So I just think a lot of that is playing into Cremati. And for me, I would like to just tell Cremati, man, look, as a fan, man, a pure football fan coming out, man, I think you talented. Me personally, I think you are Sauce Gardner 2.0 with the length, the size, the speed. However, with that comes handling your business in the schoolroom, in the film room. Okay, athleticism only going to take you so far, right? So we saw last year, and we'll take Travis because everybody comparing him to Travis, I believe that was the initial, he got picked You know, Travis was the number one. He is now. They should come in and be able to be on the same trajectory. Blah blah blah. They're not. Okay, they're not the same body type. They're not the same temperament. Okay, Travis likes to play games and go fishing. Kermani may not. It's a lot of players on that team, and this is where you got to be call it spade a spade, right? It's a lot of players on that team that's from places and things and been around things and seen things at prime and none of his kids have ever seen. Let's just call it what it is, okay? Let's just call it what it is. And so you get some of those kids coming up there and they looking at what they might consider privilege and like, man, I come from the gutter. And now I got somebody, you know, hollering at me and talking to me in a way that don't jive with what I'm used to, right? And so we got to be aware of that. We got to start calling things spade a spade. And I salute Prime for his leadership and what he tries to do and what he tells us he's implementing and doing. However, you have to know when you got certain kids and certain even coaches of how to adapt. And trust me, there are coaches up there, I guarantee you right now, that are doing things Prime way, not who they are. I guarantee it. If you watch last year, and you could say the offense, the defense, whatever this is and that is, listen, you can see, I don't care if it was offense or defense, the head coach got the power to veto like the president. It was things that was happening last year that should have been vetoed, and they weren't. During the week, during games, during half times, they weren't vetoed. So we can blame who we want. At the end of the day, it starts at the top and it ends at the top, right? So you got to be able to be a robe or blanket for your team, and individuals. You have to know their temperaments and everything. You just got to know it as a leader among sheep, among men. And sometimes people can feel when you don't. People can feel with what you say, but versus what you do is different. Let's call it spade a spade. Last year, you didn't hear Prime criticize Shedeur at all. He would come out and tell you, hey, I can't say it's him. I trust him. And it's usually a play broken down or usually this or usually that. It's like, hey, the greatest of the greats make mistakes constantly. You know what I mean? But it was, people looking like, wait a minute. No, that was. I said it all last year. He held the ball a lot. Regardless of what you see, he held the ball. Like, that's just a fact. He did. Now, this year, you can see Prime even in practice. Watch my video yesterday. He was just saying, hey, process it quicker. Look, see it quicker. Just overall everything. But my point is, last year, he didn't do that at all from what we saw. So it's not, well, you don't know what's going on behind the scenes. Prime let out what he wants to let out. So if you letting out to the public, hey, I'm criticizing these people, but these couple right here, I don't say no, I ain't criticizing. I ain't saying this. I ain't saying that. You want to be fair across the board. That's what you do across the board. You call out a star when you need to call out a star. That's what it is. Dope as Travis is, I said all last year, he's not physical enough at the point of attack. Call it what you want. It ain't hating. The man is a beast. He going pro. But I'll tell you what, at the next level, he will be on the back of receivers because he's not physical. He's slim, like just strength-wise. I'm watching him come in this year. It don't look like he put on any muscle. Any. You watching the tape. He's playing all receiver snaps. That athleticism, okay. Now, this is only, again, what we see. So people will say, well, you don't know what's going on. We only talking about what we see, okay? What we see. So you look at that tape last year against Arizona. I believe it was Arizona when he got beat on the whole game, or at least the second half. I'm talking about play after play after play after play, and watch the plays. They were what? Man press. Okay? Athleticism will only take you so far, even for Travis Hunter. Technique, strength, you grow. And for me, I'm going to be an honest fan. From year to year, from what I see on this team, you look at like Dylan Edwards. You see he came back. You can see the difference. It's a few other players you can see the difference. Travis, from what I'm seeing on tape, he is the one. And he was already great. But I'm talking about physical wise, from year to year, I don't see any change. I don't. Physical wise, I don't see any change. And you can play both sides of the ball. But again, in the pros, you're not really going to do that. Now, this is like going from high school to college, right? In high school, you play both sides of the ball. College, you really don't. It's too many great players. It's too many players. And in the pros, you really don't. So what I would like to see, especially going into this last year, is I would expect to see Travis at corner getting every possible rep. Every possible rep. To me, he's not a number one receiver at the next level. He's not. His release, he's not strong enough, again, at the point of attack for even a receiver. He's light in the air. I'm just saying. To me, he's a corner, a elite corner. I would like to see him more on that side of the ball. But again, when you that good off athleticism and all of this, you just, we know you good. We tend to get complacent and we'll let you do this. And now you're going to see, I guarantee you this. It ain't many times people throw at him, right? You saw last year, once they completed 2 passes, they said, we're going to go at it. And they got at him. The guy might have had 190 yards, 80 yards in a quarter against him or a half, solely on him on the island. For me, that was my sign to say, okay, man press cover on the island against a receiver that's not afraid of his name. Oh, they're going to give him some work. And you saw it last year. So for me, Mr. Cremani, hey, we understand you're not Travis, man. If this is you right now working, keep your head down. Prime is one of the best teachers you're going to get from that position. Now, you and Travis or, whatever, y'all may not be the same character type. That's cool. Don't be shy to be around competition. Get better. Challenge yourself right now, man. Like Sap say, pour that concrete now. Because when you build the house, you want it on that foundation. Get back with the team, man. They say 8:28, all things work together for the greater good for those that believe the Lord. Just trust the process, man. Trust that you're here for a reason, young fella. Trust the process, okay? And it may not always come off as it should or, like people should, but just work, young fella. I believe you are the next Sauce Garner, frame-wise, skill set-wise. I believe you can come into that. But I'll tell you this, if you watch the great corners, they usually dominate in college. And I mean dominate in college. You cannot throw at somebody all season. Okay, that's great. They get to the pros and they get exposed. Okay, so just dominate. I would like to see him play, like just be on the field. Put him at safety. When y'all running a 6 DB set, 5 DB set, put him on the field. To me, he's not going to get down low. You watch the video. We playing it. He's a taller frame guy. Bending over like that is crazy for him. So it's more of a, not so much the legs as it is the upper head, the top part. And be able to punch. Get strong. Hit that bench. Okay, do them practice boxing, hitting the power bag. Practice open hand slaps, jabs. Practice that. Get stronger at the point of attack when you're playing these receivers because you got the speed. Okay, you got the height. Okay, you got to be able to recognize. Just play free, young fella. You thinking too much on your footwork. We watching this video. Watch the video that he just put out. He worrying about his footwork. That's let you know he's trying to master it. However, hey, young fella, sometimes you got to just play loose. And the coaches got to put him in position to, hey, we need to find a way to let him just play free. Right now, he trying to mimic and do what a 5'10" corner do. Coming out, he was not a perfect polish fluidity in his hips and his footwork coming out. That's all right. Those are skills you learn as you grow. But right now, get him on the field. If you handling everything you need to handle in school and as a teammate. So for you, knowing that you're not as physical in man press, bump, and run as some of the other corners in the country, not saying you won't get there. Okay, you are not you are bigger than a lot of them. Go watch Sauce Garner football, man. Young fella, just watch Sauce Garner. Go watch him. Go watch old school Cromartie when he was with Revis. Look at some of these bigger corners and watch what they use to take advantage to give themselves the edge on smaller receivers and bigger receivers. Just watch them. But for the coaching staff, put the man in a position to win. He's not Travis Hunter. I repeat, he is not Travis Hunter. He is C.Mcclain. Young fella, keep your head down, young fella. Keep working, young fella. Whatever you've been doing or haven't done, scrap that. We on to the next day, young fella. God don't hold what we did yesterday against us. Move on, young fella. Keep your head right, young fella. Get back on that field and be great like you're supposed to. Learn from them. You and Travis should be 1-2 out there, one side of the field, the other. Competing, young fella. You're going to be great. We see it in you if this is what you decide. Don't be afraid of change. Don't be afraid of building character. Go out there, pick up what you can, but be free, young fella. Be free, young fella. I'm watching some of these tapes, and it's like he's in a box trying to be, young fella, go be free, young fella. Coaching staff, if you hear me listening, see you coaching staff, get the man to play free. Whatever y'all got to do, get him to play free. He's an off-man corner right now. Let him play off-man. Let him read the play, break down. Kermani, study, buddy. Kermani, study, buddy. That's it, young fella, study. Use your advantages. You got to be smarter than the receivers. You got to be smarter than these other corners. When you're too short, you got to use other attributes you have. You too short, you got to be faster. You got to be stronger. You too tall and skinny as a basketball player, so you got to be able to shoot like Durant. Use what you don't have or use what you need work in. Great. Those other attributes, make sure they that much better than the next person's. Ball out, young fellas. Salute. C.Mcclain. Sauce Gardner 2.0. We believe in you, kid.